The Valley of the Kings is located on the west bank of Luxor. You can take a taxi, a tour, rent a bicycle or motorbike. We decided to come by tuk-tuk. As you can see, we were very excited, but before we jump into that, we need to learn more about ancient Egypt.
Now, Egypt was once divided into two kingdoms, the Lower Egypt, which is the north of Egypt, and the Upper Egypt, which is in the south. 500 years ago, the two kingdoms were united and the pharaohs started ruling it. Pharaohs believed that they were living gods, and that's why after their death, they would build the pyramids and be buried beneath. The pyramids served as a worshipping place, so people could still worship their pharaohs after death.
This changed around 3,500 years ago, when the new kingdom started and Luxor, back then called Thebes, became the capital of ancient Egypt. And the pharaohs stopped building pyramids because they wanted a better way to conceal their graves from robbers, and also because their funerary practices had changed.
As you know, pharaohs were mummified and buried with many riches as they believed in the afterlife and that the body was the home of the soul. If the body was destroyed, the soul would be lost. That's why they chose a secret location to hide their tombs, the Valley of the Kings.
Welcome to the King's Valley, everybody. Super excited and a bit nervous to be here.
Yeah, me too.
So we took a tuk-tuk. We paid 35 Egyptian pounds one way, and then it's another 35 pounds to go back.
We agreed the time with him and he's going to be there waiting for us at the exit of the King's Valley. And that's pretty much it. Now let's talk about the prices to enter the King's Valley or the Valley of the Kings. It's 240 Egyptian pounds for the ticket. That gives you access to only 3 tombs, but I think it's pretty good after 3 tombs. I don't think you're gonna want to spend like the whole day visiting all the tombs, but if you do, there's also the option to buy, I think it's the premium Luxor. It gives you access to all the tombs here and all the attractions in Luxor. Moving on from that, we have to pay 4 Egyptian pounds for a train ride from the ticket office to the King's Valley. There's no other option, you have to pay the £4, you cannot walk.
It's literally like 10 steps. Makes absolutely no sense, but you have to do it.
You have to do it, and then there's 3 extra tombs that you have to pay separately. We chose the Tutankhamun. It costs 300 Egyptian pounds, and the mummy it's inside of the tomb, so I'm very excited to see that one.
It's one of the most famous tombs in the world.
Yes, everybody has heard of Tutankhamun.
We are using Christiana's phone because you have to pay another 300 Egyptian pounds if you want to bring your camera. So we're using Christiana's phone.
The phones don't pay tickets, so we decided to use the phones, so why not?
So there's a bit of a change in quality.
Okay, now we have chosen the 3 tombs before coming. We did our own research and all of that. At the entrance of the ticket office there is a board with all the tombs that are open, because not all of the 9 tombs are open at the moment. Sometimes they close ones and open new ones and whatnot. So we already chose our 3. We have some information there. I don't think we are allowed to film or take pictures inside of the tombs,
But we've heard if you pay a little tip to the guard, he may allow you.
if we don't do it like out there, if we like be a bit not secretive but be a bit discreet, they'll be all right.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Go to our first one.
Yes, I'm so excited. Never thought I would be here.
There's like more than 60 tombs in this valley, so I think 3, maybe 4 will be enough.
We're going to be visiting 4, the 3 that are included in the ticket and the extra one that we paid to visit the Tutankhamun.
Let's go deep into the tomb.
The Valley of the Kings is still being excavated and studied until today. So far, more than 60 tombs have been discovered, not all from pharaohs though.
This is it. We're inside the first tomb. We chose Ramses III. Can't believe that we've seen real hieroglyphics for the first time. It's crazy.
This chamber looks like it's unfinished. This was done on purpose to deceive grave robbers. Once they were down there, they would think that the burial chamber was not completed, but in fact the real entrance was hidden meters away.
King Ramses III's chamber. That's where his mummy and sarcophagus was, and all the riches.
Some advice that we can give you is make sure to bring like small change like £5 and £10 so you can tip the guards. You're not allowed to take pictures and film, but if you tip them, they'll be happy and they'll even take photos for you and of you. I think it's pretty fair, like £5–10 for them to have a tea, eat a sandwich.
Yes, unless they take a lot of work with you and explain a lot, which is they normally just go around you, explain a little bit of this and that, and that's it. So I think it's pretty fair.
But they do expect like £50, but you give them 5,
if you
10.
have the means, well, you tip them whatever you want.
Exactly. The workers have just finished their day. Going to visit now Ramses IX. This is our second tomb. This one is not as preserved as Ramses III.
Yeah, it looks a little bit less preserved. The walls, the ceilings, at least at the entrance.
It's much wider. It's wider than the other one.
It seems to be bigger. I think my face pretty much summarizes how we were feeling at the time. And then again. The pharaohs were buried with everything they possibly needed for the afterlife, like gold, miniature boats, furniture, clothes, food, drinks, you get the idea.
This one's a lot more narrow. Looks...
And not so tall.
I think it's much deeper than the other ones. Wow, this one is very deep.
All very well decorated.
Mm-hmm.
Such beautiful detail. It's a gazelle. Look at the gazelle here.
And these are all painted with vivid colours. Obviously, along the many years that have passed, they have faded away.
It's still very vivid.
Mm-hmm. The mummy.
Is the mummy here?
Oh, yes.
Here is Abydos.
Abydos. The mummy. We're going to go down. Later, after.
We go?
After, and then come back.
Yes,
And then we come back.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. Where from?
Portugal.
Is good, Portugal.
Yes. Manuel José.
Portugal.
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 Orange, my country. You're gonna eat my country.
Yes. Yes.
For me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for giving me a Portugal.
Portugal.
Thank you, that's very kind. Whoa, this just keeps going and going and going. Oh my god.
It's like one of the biggest we've seen.
Sarcophage.
Sarcophagus.
Original sarcophagus? Original?
Origin, yes. Yes, is the mummy is Cairo.
But this one original? No.
Your is granite, Aswan, Abu Simbel.
Okay.
Ah.
A granite from Aswan, and I've seen that.
This is a sarcophagus. The mummy is in Cairo Museum. There's only one mummy here in the Valley of the Kings, which we're going to show you after. He's a famous guy.
Crocodile of the Nile.
The biggest reptile in the world.
And here you can see
Here.
they kill those people, as you can see.
Mm.
And then here they took their heads off.
They chop their heads.
Yeah. There's the big guy with the knife,
Uh-huh.
and then they don't have heads, and they have their arms tied up.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting. And here they are like trying to control a big snake.
Mm.
Because they have these ropes around the cobra. It's fascinating on the history here. Fascinating. Oh, such beautiful creatures. Like deer.
There's a lot of snakes and
This is
crocodiles
one snake.
represented.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 heads.
There's more snakes here.
But this tomb doesn't have so much color. The
No.
color has faded. The other ones that we visited previously they were
Vivid.
livid colors. Here we have still the carvings, obviously, most of them, but the colors are gone. Stopping for food break, snack break.
Gonna have my portocal. This is called portocal in Arabic, and our country is Portugal. So our country is an orange, basically.
Yeah, I think it's different.
Yeah.
Different pronunciation.
just similar. So it's funny.
Portugal and Portugal. I'm ready to go in.
Everyone has heard of Tutankhamun. He is the most famous mummy pharaoh now. Not because he was more famous than others during his time, but because his tomb was one of the most well intact ever found, meaning that people could study it and uncover more about ancient Egypt more than ever.
This is here. This Osiris is Tutankhamun's king's king.
This Tutankhamun.
Tutankhamun, yes. This is here. Osiris is Tutankhamun's king. Look here is Tutankhamun. It's here. You look here. This is his mask.
Gold
This
mask.
is-
Cairo, right?
Yeah, this Cairo is here inside.
Oh,
This
replica.
is Wasraza, Germany.
Oh, this is when they found him.
Yeah. This is here sacrifice this way. This is Dama, Anubis. This Anubis is Professor's mummy.
Nice, nice.
Look here this way. Osiris.
Osiris
This is
protecting.
inside.
Nice.
This is when you have to use your extra tickets. This is the one that costed an extra 300 Egyptian pounds.
Oh, this they find inside.
Yes, yes, this Cairo inside.
Oh, these are all the treasures.
This is Carter.
This is Mr. Carter, the one that found.
Mr. Carter.
The one that found. There is something eerie about Tutankhamun's tomb though, an alleged curse. The curse of pharaohs is a curse to be cast upon anyone who disturbs the tomb of a pharaoh, causing bad luck and even death. So allegedly, the Englishman and his team who found the tomb in the succeeding years were attacked by this curse, and some of them died in odd circumstances. Tutankhamun's burial chamber is the small and the least decorated. It's believed that it's because he died so young. He was 19 years old and his death was not expected, so his chamber was a bit rushed. Nevertheless, everything here is very well preserved. What an amazing experience. I'm very happy, very glad that we bought that ticket to go to see Tutankhamun because it was really worth it. The sarcophagus, or like the burial chamber is very small, and there is only like the space for the mummy and then a little bit the space of the sarcophagus, and it's not everything is decorated, only like a few walls, but it's really worth it because you get to see Tutankhamun mummy, which is like the size of a, I don't know what this size. and the paintings and the decorations are really well kept, very well preserved, so it was really, really worth it, I think. Probably not for the space in itself, because the other tombs that we were before were much bigger and had a lot more detail, but that one is really something else, special.
It was time to leave the Valley of the Kings. We hopped on a city car train for about 100 meters, got dropped off at the exit, and then waited for our tuk-tuk driver, which we were not sure if he was going to show up or not.
But he did, so happy days.
Right in time. 2:30. Great man. Salam, thank you. Right on time.
We headed back to our accommodation for the rest of the day and relaxed. Then it was a very lovely visit to the Valley of the Kings. Highly recommend it. And that's it pretty much for now.
That's all, folks.
Goodbye, folks. Woo!